Hello and welcome to coverage of Pro Tour Magic Origins. We are ready to draft here. We're going to watch Rich Hoaen. Now, I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth here with Randy. Randy, tell me a little bit about Rich. We got to take a look at him here. I know he's from Canada.
Toronto.
In limited circles, he holds a lot of weight.
Incredibly well respected. Was for a number of years probably the best limited player in the world. Kenji Samura said, I want to get better at booster draft. He went to study at Rich's knee. Recently, Alexander Hoaen did exactly the same thing. Said, I want to get good at booster draft. I want to learn. We need the cards, guys. Where are the cards? And, yeah, Rich, definitely one of the greats.
All right, so he's opened a Languish here, Randy. And it's funny watching people open Languish. I think that people don't want to play the type of deck, generally speaking, that Languish would suggest that you should play, but it's so powerful that they know that they can't ignore it, and they end up taking it anyway.
Yeah, and I actually talked to Rich this morning, and he likes black-red more than most people.
Okay.
He likes removal, and he likes creatures. That is, he feels like this is core set limited for him. This is just the way Magic has been played for literally decades. So I don't think he has any hesitation to take the Languish out of that pack at all.
And he does indeed. So a solid start, though, for him. I mean, Languish is one of the more powerful cards in the format, so he's going to be happy to see that.
Claustrophobia here, maybe?
Yeah, there was a Claustrophobia and a Fiery Impulse were the two cards that jumped out to me. I would take the Impulse. I think Impulse is one of the best commons in the set, period.
Yeah,
and he's got to be pretty happy to see it here. Let's see, is the rare missing from the pack? I believe it is. So he's not going to be able to get much in the way of signals from this pack, as the rare could have been any color, including red. But still, take a Fiery Impulse and move on.
But he knows that Brian Gottlieb passed him an Impulse and a Claustrophobia. I mean, Brian Gottlieb is probably predicting that Rich is going to take the Impulse. And certainly that's old school booster draft tech. It's always worked that way, right? You want to cooperate with your neighbors.
That's right.
You guys can just split up the colors. I'll stick in my lane, you stick in your lane. We'll just pass each other the goods. We'll just be better off than the people fighting on the other side of the table.
Whew, how about another Fiery Impulse? Wow, pick 2 and pick 3 Fiery Impulse for Rich Hoaen.
Yeah, and there's no way he misses that signal. That is screaming loud. Best card in each of the last 2 packs has been red. And honestly, the second best card in each of these packs has been red also.
That's right. The Skyraker Giant in this pack looks really nice, too. I mean, the Fiery Impulse is the pick, but Skyraker has really impressed me. It's just a rock-solid 4-drop.
Yeah, and Rich may be slightly concerned that he's accidentally putting Mike Sigrist into red on his left.
So much less concerning, though, than what you're reading from the other side. Like, yeah, sure, you put him into red a little bit. You'll get dented in the second pack, but the main thing to figure out is what's coming to you.
Absolutely.
And it does seem to be red here.
The guy on your right feeds you 2/3 of the time, so
yes,
you care more about him.
So I like Rock Maulers out of this pack. There's also a Titan Strength if he wants to, just try to keep taking the red cards out.
Rich, like a lot of people, a lot of the name pros, is not a huge fan of green. I mean, he's willing to draft green, but he said he only really does it if he gets uncommons and rares. So I'm not surprised by that Active Treason pick. I'm with you. I feel like Rock Maulers is a little better, but if he takes the Rock Maulers, it means he's giving up on his Languish. And it means that he's going into a color that he's not a huge fan of, and I don't think he sees 4th pick Rock Maulers as all that big a signal.
Okay.
Now there's not much. Shadows of the Past? Yeah, wow. Does he just go Shadows of the Past here, figuring he's got so much removal that the game's going to go long and you can turn that on?
It could be, yeah. Either that or just a Cobble Brute. I mean, honestly,
Cobble Brute.
Either of these picks are so just unexciting.
I feel like Cobble Brute is below replacement value. It's like sometimes you have to play it, but it is below average for what should make your cut. So he goes Shadows of the Past. I feel like, Shadows of the Past, not good in all decks, but
it can pull its weight.
It
can definitely be worth it to play. And he has so much removal, he will be able to get some value out of the Scry.
Yeah, black is not open.
Black is not open, though. Llanowar Empath, the best red card here is the Titan Strength. It might just be the only. He's going to take the Llanowar Empath sort of begrudgingly, shifting a little bit here.
And now maybe he retroactively wishes he had the Rock Maulers instead of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's more a speculation thing, right? Like, you take a green card. It doesn't mean that you don't play your black card. It just means that you're testing the waters a little bit. And instead, he has an Active Treason in that spot, which is okay.
Still playable. Yeah. It's good in the aggro red decks. It's not good in the removal heavy red decks.
Yeah, and I mean, he is thinking he's red-black when he takes it. There's a prickle bore for Rich here.
You get an Nantuko Husk. You can sacrifice their guy. It becomes a removal spell.
Exactly.
Pickle Bore's pretty straightforward pick, that pack.
Yeah, that card's been fine. Oh, this is nice. Deadbridge Shaman has come back for him here. I assume that's just the pick, yeah. I'm kind of surprised by that. You know, that would make me think that it's possible that these packs have just been a little bit light on black naturally, and that it's not that he's just being severely cut, because that's a card that I think if you're in black basically makes the cut all the time.
I agree. Now what?
Not much for him here.
Couple of big dorks.
Yeah.
Gorger.
I just take the Rambler there, I guess.
Take the red dork rather than the green one.
Yeah. I don't think you're playing it. You know, that 4 toughness when you've got Languish on your 6 drop doesn't look too great.
Is Guardians the pick here, or
It
Smash?
probably is. You could take Smash for the board. There are enough artifacts. It's kind of interesting how that works. You know, normally you take a sideboard card and with the thinking that, well, I'll use it to destroy something very specific. But in this set, it's nice because with the Thopters, you get a Fury here, I believe.
Yeah, Chandra Fury's pretty good.
Yeah.
Macabre Waltz is also playable.
It's fine too, yeah. But with all the Thopters flying around, you will almost always have a target at least for your Smash. Even if it's not, you know, a full card of value, at least you have a backup plan.
Passes the night. If there's a if there's a black-white player on his left, they just got very happy.
They have to be 1 or 2 to his left, but yes.
Yeah, James Daytome.
Yeah, show a little respect for the old school there.
I feel like sometimes you can get a deck where James Daytome is playable, even in this relatively quick limited format.
You're probably right. I've just literally never seen it.
I've
like
done
20
it once.
drafts in.
I had one black-white deck with a bunch of removal that actually made good use of James Daytome. But the format is so fast, it's hard to find the time to invest the 4 and then invest the 4 again.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw JM Daytome on the preview, I was like, okay, come on. Because I like that. I love that idea. But then it was like I also saw To put Freeblade in. All right, but Rich did end up pretty solidly in red, and then looks like he's going to be in black with the Shaman and the Languish as well. This second pack is where he's going to expect to pick up more of the black cards to fill things out as well.
Guardians of Meletus might actually fit into his deck.
It could. It definitely could.
It sets up a Languish, right? Survives the Languish, makes them overcommit, and then sets up. But he went with the Smash out of that pack. That was the only pick that I disagreed with, I guess. And that's like, you're not hoping neither of those cards is going to make the deck, probably.
Right, there's a gear per gear crafter, Randy. And a seismic elemental.
Was there a Reef Soul?
There is a Reef Soul. All right, so we've got.
Yeah, I would Reef Soul over Gear Crafter.
One of the best black commons and one of the best red commons here for Rich, and it's up to him to decide which one. It's kind of interesting. Also, the seismic elemental is excellent.
It is. Again, it's better in an aggro deck like Active Treason, right? You want that falter effect of, and I'm sure Rich thinks of it as a falter effect. That was the first card that had this effect from way back in the day. 4/4 body on this one. It's pretty solid, but he's not that aggressive, so it's goes that way anyway. Okay.
I thought he was going to take the Gear Crafter there.
I thought he was going to take the Reef Soul.
And then Reef Soul, and then third would be the Seismic Elemental. But Seismic Elemental is probably the most powerful of those 3 options. It's just the most expensive.
Yeah, I like Elemental over Gear Crafter.
Looks like he's going to get a Crowan Sergeant or a Husk here.
Man, the Husk, he's already got 1 Active Treason.
Yeah.
He can realistically expect to get more. I think you Nintuko Husk.
I think you're right. And I think the Sergeant's fine, right?
Right.
That's the 2/2 with First Strike and Renown 1. But the Husk actually has some real synergies, and it's not that far behind Sergeant anyway.
Right. Like on its own. I mean,
on its own.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I think the synergy overcomes the vanilla test.
Agree.
And Rich seems to agree as well.
This has been a real weekend for Nantuko Husk, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen it picked a lot in Limited, and it's getting its time to shine in Constructed as well, which is pretty cool.
How high are you on Revenant?
I am low on Revenant.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like there's a Rabid Bloodsucker in this pack, and I would rather have that, for example.
Oh, wow. I don't have it below Rabid Bloodsucker. But
Yeah, I think Rabid Bloodsucker is just fine, and I think Revenant ranges from literally unplayable, like if you cast it, it immediately dies, to mediocre. He took a
Separatist Void
Void Mage with a little smirk on his face. There really wasn't much for him in that pack, though. We're going back and forth about 2 cards that we really don't want to have in our deck.
Right.
What did he find here? Oh, there's another Crowan Sergeant. What are the other options? Away to the Underworld?
I would take the Sergeant here. There's also
a Flesh Bag.
Oh, Flesh Bag, sure. He's heavy on removal. He's light on creatures. Sergeant is a solid guy.
It's definitely between that and the flesh bag.
He goes Sergeant.
It does feel like the flesh bag would be having him sacrifice a real creature at this point.
Exactly. I
It's
mean, if he
pretty
had,
tough.
you know, the Gear Crafter or a Dragon Fodder or something, then maybe Fleshbag becomes more attractive.
And it looks like we're looking at Alchemist Vial here. I didn't see a slug.
Wow. Yeah, we knew that he probably created a red drafter on his left.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There's an Aether Grid that he is not interested in.
Some blue cards. Blue's open on his left.
Looks like he took the slug
Yeah,
there.
that's what
I
I thought
think
he
I would
took
have
too.
just taken the vial. The slug's just so unlikely to.
He's not
Make
going to
the
make great
cut.
use of Vial in his deck either.
No, just to cycle. I mean, it's like cheap and it does have
Sure.
a small effect on the board and keeps your land drops going. Wow, these packs have not been exciting for
Slug
Rich.
does survive a languish.
That's true, and it does fill that role. It's just God, it costs 5.
5 seconds.
Man,
These packs have been
Pack 2 has been miserable.
abysmal for Rich. And in general, I'll say too, it's not like, you know, you and I aren't saying, wow, you know, whoever's in green is sure. It's
The
just
blue
kind of
mage
like
is getting the hookup.
shrug.
Blue has been the good cards that have gone through.
Yeah. And another pack with basically nothing here. Second Smash
Crazy.
of Smithereens, Bellows Lizard, Aether Grid again. I think he's just taking the vial.
Do that or Bellows Lizard? Yeah, Vial seems better.
Bellows Lizard with which somehow is a better blocker than attacker.
Oh, jeez.
So
Our
there's
spotter's whispering in our ear that there was a pair of fiery hellhounds open to Rich's left.
that will put a dent in your red-black deck.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, and the thing is, Rich knows. I mean, he is
but
very
what's he supposed to
unhappy
do?
here. He has not had many options. I think he's drafted his seat just fine.
Right.
It's
I mean,
just how it's going for him this draft.
the only way he's in better colors is if he's psychic. I mean, blue has, I think, been the most open color this
I think,
pack,
but even then, it's not like there's claustrophobias wheeling around the
Right,
table, right?
right.
Like, interesting. Took a Shivan Reef there. I wonder if that
Separatist
Void Mage
might make the cut.
Yeah. He's
What
gonna
a
take
brutal
a
pack.
Night Snare. All right, well, there's a lot of heat coming down on this last pack as Rich Hoaen finishes up Pack 2. Pack 3 is going to have a lot of pressure on it from his perspective to deliver some pretty great stuff.
Now, red should be open, though. He's in red because he got past good red cards. So he's got to read that he should get a pretty good Pack 3, at
Totally.
least from the red side of things. Now, he's only in black because he opened Languish. So he does not have much reason to believe that black is going to stay open.
I mean, black seems to be just getting savagely cut from all sides here.
Yeah, and Languish is double black, so you
Like-
can't even splash it very well.
Like, his cards right now are Languish, Deadbridge Shaman, and if you want to count it, Shadows of the Past. He's got a
Nentuko Husk.
Coldblade.
He's
Yeah,
got
he
a
does have
Nentuko
a
Husk.
Husk. That's true.
Oh, did he pick up a Coldblade? I
He
missed that.
did, and which
Coldblade
is-
might actually be good. in this
Yeah,
deck.
you know, it's funny. I don't think Coldblade is generally good, but with 2 Fiery Impulse, it looks a lot better.
Right. I mean, I think he's still red-black. He could splash blue. He's got the Shivan Reef and the Separatist Void Mage. I mean, he gave himself some options there. I'm brutal position. I feel like Rich navigated it about as well as anybody could be expected to.
It just has not come to him.
Agreed.
Okay.
I guess maybe he could have had that if he goes with that rock smaller, but did he even see green?
No, not that
really.
pack.
I mean, somebody else on his left took the rock smaller, of course. So I mean, the whole world changes a little bit.
Yeah, 5th pick Rocksmaller could have put that person in.
All right, what does Pack 3 have? Thunderclap Wyvern's not for him. What?
Read the Bones.
Read the bone. Yeah, that's the pick.
Yeah, you know, Read the Bones
So-
is a solid card.
It's a solid common,
I'm
though.
yeah, I gotta be. I'm getting a little worried for Hoenn here.
He has to be disappointed.
Definitely up until this point, and he was hoping to open up just a sweet bomb here, and he didn't. Read the Bones is a solid pickup. He's not
Yep.
going to be super bummed, but
Yep.
it's going to need to go better than that if he's going to have a deck that he really wants to give the big thumbs up to as he comes out of this draft.
They have 13 cards to
See that Ultra Pro wristband on Rich's arm. He's seemed like he picked the right team to cast his lot with for this Pro Tour. Team Ultra Pro has been putting up good results and doing so again.
You now have 45 seconds to review your picks. Your time begins now.
Yeah, Rich comes from Canada.
Thus the face-to-face shirt.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's a marked card in Rich's pack. They're
And-
giving him a replacement pack because there was a marked card.
Yes.
So one of the cards was visible from the back rather than have everybody know who took that marked card. And now, yeah, he's splitting them out on the table. They can make sure none of these are marked, but
Does
he
he
gets a
give
redo.
the Read the Bones back?
Apparently.
He gets to just spin the wheel on opening something
Read
great
the Bones
here?
goes away, marked card in the pack. They didn't discover it until he'd picked, but they're replacing his pack. And
You got a Conjuring. That's not going to do it. Somehow he's opened a worse pack? No, I guess he's going to get an Acron Sargent out of the deal here.
wow.
That was weird.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before.
You know, I think you would mulligan a
Oh,
Read
I
the
would
Bones,
totally
though.
mulligan that pack. He didn't really do better. He did about the same.
He
Maybe
did about the
Sargent
same.
slightly better.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like they're pretty similar. He needs the Sargent a little bit more. I don't
agreed.
know. Enthralling Victor in there?
Enthralling Victor, and what was that last red card?
Yeah.
See, he's so fast with it. Subterranean Scout and a Majoring Bully, I believe, at the back. Yeah, that is what it is. So
Is he desperate for a 2-drop?
he's getting that way. Yeah, I still think
Enthralling
Victor's
Victor,
probably
especially
the pick.
with one Nentuko Husk and the ability to possibly get another one. It's a Woodland Bellower in there in green. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. If he'd been green, he'd be really happy with that Woodland Bellower for
Yes,
sure.
he would. All right. Well, I still think it's Enthralling Victor
I do
for
too.
his deck. Yeah.
I do too.
He also has a reasonable shot to get that Majoring Bully back. It only goes in red decks, and it only goes in ones that want to be particularly assertive or have a lot of cheap removal or any removal like he does. Jeez, these packs have been raw. He's going to get maybe an Act of Treason.
I guess. So, that sounds better than second Macabre Waltz. Second Volcanic.
Yeah, or another
Dork.
Alchemist Vial.
Wow. I guess he was supposed to go into green? Takes the Act of Treason. His draft works out better if he takes that Rock Smaller and goes into green. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do the green
I
cards
would have taken the Rock Smaller out of the pack. I don't know that I would have ended up in green, though. It's hard to say. He gets a Lightning Javelin here, which is fine.
Yep.
Oh, no, he's got a Shambling Ghoul? Oh, yeah. I would take the Shambling Ghoul here.
Is that a Summerwald Alpha floating around the back of the pack?
5 seconds.
It is.
It
Yeah,
sure
green
was.
is.
Green is
Green
flowing.
would have worked out.
Yeah, he did take the Ghoul
That
here.
doesn't mean it was correct. It doesn't mean he drafted incorrectly. It's, the difference between the psychic play and the correct play. Sometimes only the psychic play works out. But green is, in fact, open. Wow, second Somberwald Alpha. Another Rock Smaller.
Here's a Shambling Ghoul for Rich, though.
He's getting cards. They're not as good as the green cards he's passing.
Yeah. But these 2-drops that, can get the beatdown process going and sort of back up his removal are a welcome sight.
I don't think he has any... I don't think he's sad about Shambling Ghoul. I'm just watching what could have been float through his hands.
Collect the cards. You have 20 seconds.
Yeah, gets to read the bones anyway.
That's a nice pickup.
Yeah.
This is about where you want to pick up a Read the Bones, not the first
Right.
one.
Right.
There's a Magmatic
And this pack has
Insight.
been reasonable to him. I mean, he's rounded out his curve.
Yes.
He hasn't gotten anything bomb quality, but he's gotten 2-drops. He's gotten some card advantage. He's filled in the gaps in his deck pretty
Definitely.
nicely.
He got an Acron Sargent out of this pack. It's fine. I think he's definitely going to have the tools to win here. It's just going to be one of those decks that feels a little underpowered.
Is this a Meteorite deck?
Seems unlikely, though. I don't really see what else he's taking here. Second Catacomb Slug is not appealing.
Llanowar Waste?
Yeah.
Takes the Llanowar Waste.
Guess you could take a ram roller. I don't think he
Bonded
has any
construct
artifacts.
blocks okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't mind playing a bonded construct. I mean, it needs help to attack, but being able to play something on the first turn that can block their Topin Free Blade, their whatever.
It's important.
It is.
It really is.
And fine, maybe they have a combat trick, so the Free Blade wins the fight, but then you slog through their combat trick, and you're ready to play the next blocker, right?
Yeah, I played a bonded construct a few times now, always with the intention of having it be that blocker early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little ambitious to think, oh, I'm just going to attack with this. Now, I have seen some kind of one-drop style decks that people have drafted. Yeah,
Still
the
Elvish
green is
Visionary?
just absurdly open here. I mean, Elvish Visionary is a solid card.
Yeah. Yeah. Heading into the sideboard. So, what do you grade him on drafting his seat here?
B plus, A minus. Like, I think he did really well. Look, I mean, like I said, I would have taken a flyer on the Maulers. I'm not quite as green averse as many of the top guys.
Mm-hmm.
I get it that green isn't amazing, but I am willing to just let the flow of the table dictate where I'm at a little bit more, even if it does put me in the color that isn't the best.
Yeah, I kind of only give him a B for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
Rock Smaller would have worked out better, and it was a legit option at that point. I think his deck, what do you give the deck?
I think the deck's like a C. It's fine. Like, he's got a Languish, he's got multiple removal spells, and he has a decent creature curve. It's just he doesn't have any big punch. It's probably like a C+.
I was going to say C plus, B
Yeah,
minus.
it's fine.
It's got tools. Like, Rich can 2-1 with this deck.
Totally.
I don't think does not look like a 3-0 deck.
He has to run well to 3-0.
Right. Good.
That's for sure.
Good player with removal and a decent mana curve, though. I mean, it looks like he's got the tools to 2-1 in my mind.
I think so, too. And, I have to give him credit here. That was a tough seat. I mean,
Oh, yes.
every pack he
Yes.
looked at was just miserable. He kept seeing pack after pack of mediocrity, and at some point, you can kind of hit the panic button a little bit.
And I think that's why we're both giving him kind of a B for drafting this seat. Like, the degree of difficulty on that seat was,
very high.
A plus or is that an F? I don't even know which way you grade degree
yeah.
of difficulty. That was a tough seat.
Yeah, it was very
And
tough.
It would have been very easy to just have your entire deck train wreck in that second pack.
Right, and he didn't. He stuck to his
didn't.
colors,
Right.
and he pushed through, and he did get paid off in the third pack.
Yeah.
That was what he needed to happen. It wasn't a huge payoff, right? Sometimes we see the big payoff, but in this case, it was a little bit more like, okay, well, he picked a couple of Shaman Ghouls, he picked up some 3-drops, a little bit of removal to read the bones. He really did kind of fill everything in with what he needed. So I do think he got there, and I think that he did a reasonable job of drafting what was ultimately a pretty tough seat. Like we said, he moved into red-black early in his pack, and he was getting chipped.
Yeah,
None of it.
Not knowing 2 Fiery Hellhounds were on his left.
Right, and Fiery Hellhound, I mean, it's weird. You don't normally see those go that early.
True.
Like normally the Fiery Hellhounds are kind of get sorted out down the line a little bit. All right, well, we're going to send it back to the news desk when we come back. Here, next time you see us, we're going to be watching round one of action, but there's still another draft to watch, so send it to Rich in the news desk.
All right, thanks very much to Marshall and Randy with the call there on the first draft of the day. We've got another one coming right up. Now, when we came into this weekend, 51 people could theoretically have been Player of the Year by the end of the weekend. I say theoretically because for a lot of the people down the bottom end of that list, well, it would have to be a Tuesday in March. The year would have to be 3358. We'd have to be broadcasting from Mars. Quite a lot of things had to go right. Round about number 49 of those 51 potential Player of the Years was Kentaro Yamamoto of Japan. Then he went 8-0 yesterday. Well, the thing is, it's still incredibly unlikely that he's going to be Player of the Year. But something that's a lot more likely is that he could make the top 8 here as the overnight leader along with Rich Hoaen at 8-0. One thing that's certain is that we recorded his draft, and we're going to show that to you right now.